Next posture is going to be that float, sink, expand, shrink. So you can just kind of think about that in the head, kind of catchy. So just kind of that float and shrink, expand and shrink. So float and sink. Blah, 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 blah. Next posture is going to be our float and sink, expand and shrink. So you kind of think about that and kind of go over that in the head. Just float, sink, expand, shrink. So what you're going to do as you follow those principles of those energies, that four qualities, that floating, sinking, that gathering, and that spreading. Remember, as you go through, is with the intention is to not really go and concentrating on the complexity, but just the movements. Here, this one's going to go over to the left. Very important within this one is if this is not within your practice to stand on that foot, you're just going to touch that toe or just lean forward here, okay? Always stay within your safety practice. So as those hands are here forward, here in front of the belly button, as you take that nice breath in, we're just going to float those up. That left hand's going to float around that left knee. We're going to lean forward, and we're going to spread, float forward, spread. We're going to sink back and gather. Bring that knee up, float, expand, and shrink. Float and shrink, expand and shrink. Float, sink, expand, and shrink. Float, sink, expand, and shrink. Now, as you incorporate that breath, as you breathe in and out, as we rotate that around, just pivoting that body. Now, as we go for that right, you're going to do the right as a variation as we just move those hands around and pull that back. Those arms out just like the big V. As I float, sink, expand, shrink, float, sink, expand, shrink, float, sink, expand, shrink, float, sink, expand, shrink, float, sink, expand, and shrink. Good deal. This will be done as always in that chair. Go on that left. Ease that foot out. And just bring that back. So as you float, sink, expand, and shrink. As you float, sink, expand, and shrink. Float, sink, expand, shrink. And the right side, same thing. As you float, sink, expand, and shrink. Float, sink, expand, and shrink. Float, sink, expand, shrink.